Hello, hello. I am Ashen Ninja, and this is Khazrak One Eye Legendary Start Guide. Now, I have done Khazrak before, but that was also before the Beastman changes. So since they've actually had quite a few changes, I figured I'll redo this one and mark my old one as outdated, because it kind of is now. Now, Khazrak of the four Beastman Lords is probably the weakest. He's the least overpowered by a long way, but that's also a good reason for me to actually do him as a start guide. So, Khazrak's faction effects. He has Dread cost minus 15% for all unit capacity upgrades. He has plus 15% ambush success chance for all of his armies. And he has a better evasion chance by 15% when using the beast paths for all characters. His Lord effects himself, he has reduced bestial rage penalties and detection chance when hidden. He gives Vanguard deployment for Razorgore chariots, those guys here, and Bestigore units, these guys here. And he also gives poison attacks for the Ungor units. So he does start with a couple of Beastigore herds and a Razorgore chariot. Doesn't really start with anything else too exciting. Doesn't start with anything like a caster or anything like that. But that's alright. You can still manage early on with him. So as always, this is legendary, very hard legendary. And let's start. Now, with Khazrak, his start kind of varies depending on a certain factor. It basically comes down to, will you get an ambush on your first attempt to attack? If you do, all well and good. If you don't, well, that's actually kind of fine too, but you prefer the option to actually get the ambush attack off, I think, personally. But, you know, all depends. Just like old man pants. All depends. I think that's what they call them anyway. Over in the US anyway. We are in a lovely lockdown over here in my hometown now. A lot of the eastern seaboard of Australia is, so it's fantastic. Now previously you started with 2 armies to start, and so you could lure Lupio Sunscryer up to you, but no longer. Now it is just you, all by yourself, which isn't quite as bad a thing as you'd think. So the goal is, early on, to turn Magritta into your first herdstone, but failing that, Bilbali is perfectly acceptable second choice. All depends on what happens here. So your herdstone, as you can see, you've got this little thing here. So you place your herdstone there, and that is what your blood grounds will be. Place your herdstone here, your blood grounds will be a bit different. So Tabaro won't be your blood ground, but Magritta still will be, and so on and so forth. And your blood ground is really where you want to make sure you do most of your fighting, so that you can get marks of ruination. Because basically this number here is how many marks of ruination you get. This little 6, and you'll get 6 for that one as well. It's another. So if we have that one, 4 for Tabaro, 6 for Bilbali, 4 for Skaven Blight, which seems a bit weird. And you'll also get marks of ruination for any other battles you fight. This will allow you, so if you get your first one with about 25, you'll get +1 to all of the capacities for all of them, and you also get an extra army, and it's the extra army that you mostly want from there. Alright, so let's see if we get ourselves an ambush. We did! Yay! Ambush! But I'm actually going to auto-resolve the ambush. Because I actually find I can do better with auto-resolve in this particular case than I can with a manual resolve. So we'll take our leveling. We'll bring our lovely fella down this way a bit more. Doesn't matter if they can see us or know where we are. And we're going to recruit some Bestigores. Bestigors? Ungors. Bestigors. What am I, drunk? I think I'm drunk. Alright, so we'll give him more campaign movement range for our first point. And also, while we're here, let's have a look at his skill tree. His skill tree isn't very exciting. His blue skill line is the same as all of the other Beastmen Lords. It isn't too bad. You do want to get yourself some lightning strike there. Red line, again, also the same as all the other Beastmen Lords. They are all good. You can probably hear some background noise of the wife lovingly making me coffee. As she laughs at me for saying that. And up here we've got his unique yellow line, which has Bestial Cunning, which is pretty nice. Ambush success chance plus another 15%. So that's basically plus 30% all up for just for the very start. You do need to be level 12, and you get more melee defense, melee attack. Excuse me. Underhoof for larger reinforcement range and chance of intercepting other armies. Then you've got melee attack for Ungors, Gors and Bestigors, a charge bonus, and missile strength for your Ungor Raiders, plus 15%, so very, very good for the way I built my armies. Charge bonus for some of the stuff that I don't use, and bonus versus infantry. Thank you. Yay, coffee. Magic item drop chance higher, and post-battle chance of stealing magic items is higher, and you cause fear and terror against men. Move along, you can get to Feral Fervor for Stalk for all your Gors and Bestigors and everything, and Vigor loss reduction by 33%, and Tribute Strider for your army. And then there's some bonuses for Khazrak himself for more melee weapon strength, more weapon strength for your army, which includes Khazrak. More melee defense and missile resistance for your army, which again also includes Khazrak. And then you've got, actually those two are separate from this line. What am I saying? So you get either those or those. Depends on what you want. Top line is the same as most, so missile defense, magic resistance. You get Bloodlust, so an augment for plus 25% piercing damage. Leadership aura. Vigor loss reduction and speed plus 5%, and you can put him in two different kinds of chariot. If you're going to go one, go for the Razor Gore, in my opinion. You've also can get him his Dark Mail, which is pretty nice. It's okay. Constant, when he's in melee, plus 20% damage resistance, pretty good. And he is Scourge, which is also very nice, with quite a few little bonuses there. So overall, he's a fairly standard melee lord, really. Nothing to get too excited about. Alright, so we've pretty much done our first turn. We can't recruit any heroes yet. We can build a building, which I will actually do, because this is really good. Plus 20 dread per turn is actually really good. I like to have the extra dread. It is very handy for getting heroes and a lot of other bonuses. Coffee. My best friend. And that upset the wife. Not really, but you know. Alrighty, so now we're pretty much hitting back on the original guide, which was you attack Magritta. There's only 8 there. We've got some pretty decent melee in our Bestigor herd, so we're going to be using them mostly to take the walls, and we're going to get Khazrak in the front door to do our job for us. Alright, so we need to set up a ram, because we don't have a choice here. It's a pity you can't put him into that. He does replenish a little, but it'd be nice to be able to get him fully replenished before we actually make the attack. Or to recruit, that'd be good too. Can't build any buildings either. So, rewards of dread, if you don't know, we'll go through that just in case. So rewards of dread, you can increase your cap for all your units. Along with that, you also need to get your required level of marks of ruination for certain things as well before you can actually increase the cap. So you've got to pay attention to that ruination pretty well. Again, you can unlock each of the legendary lords via what's it called, Dread, and same with more of your heroes, your wargors, gorpals, and shamans. Then you've got your upgrades to your different herdstones. The good thing is with these as well, when you've got your main herdstones, even though it might be at level 1, when you do this upgrade, the herdstone upgrade itself, when you build it, doesn't cost you anything. And then you've got the extra bonuses for your new armies, extra armies, and such and such, so recruitment rank and that sort of thing. Over here we've got items that you can purchase as well. My favourite, of course, is the Champion's Essence, which is very, very good. There's a couple of other pretty neat ones as well. That's pretty good if you've got Minotaurs, though you do lose a fair bit of armour. You again gain a shitload of attack and damage with them. And there's some pretty nice little bits and pieces in there. So keep an eye on your Dread. It's very handy. As you can see, the Skaven have taken Tabaro, but we want to make friends with the Skaven, so I believe we can actually trade with them. Actually, maybe not. No, maybe not with the Skaven. All right, Magritta. I'm going to take your valiant defeat and show you what you can really do with it. So we want to take Magritta with, it doesn't really matter how many losses, to be honest, as long as we win the battle overall. That's what we want to do. Because winning is winning, as they say in Fast and the Furious. Which isn't exactly a great source of anything, to be honest. It's terrible acting. Terrible. Though some of the engine stuff in there is pretty cool. Alright, so we're going to drop our siege equipment for them. What we want to do is we want to position them so that these two are going to be heading where we want them to. We're going to get Khazrak forward to kind of act as a bit of a soaker for us. We're going to get all of these guys, they're hidden, which is good. And we're going to hide our chariots back there for now. Alright, so Khazrak is going to start on the doors. Them or they're going to go for the doors as well. Let's get our Ungor Raiders nice and close to be able to do things too. We're going to zigzag him a bit so that he can avoid some of this incoming fire on our way in. Vestigors are going to take a bit of damage here, but not a lot we can really do there. I want to keep the Tuskor chariots hidden until we open the doors, and old mate there with him should be able to do a fair bit of damage. Come on the walls with yous. I know you've travelled all that way across a battlefield. Now you're being told to climb a wall. Just do what I'm telling you. Get on up. Okay, let's actually pull the Ungors a little bit back. They might cop a bit of fire from the crossbowmen. Let's see if we can do a bit of damage to them at the same time. Doesn't look like it's really working too well. You might be able to hit these swordsmen behind. Yeah, looks like that'll work alright. So once they're actually up on the walls and we're through the door, we're going to try and get our other Ungors up on the walls as well. So we'll get them popping in there. Alrighty, let's see if we can get a couple of these units up. Okay, we want to turn them off auto shooting because we don't want to have them shooting our Vestigors in the back. Do want them over here shooting at him. If we can. Alright, the tower is more in our favour than theirs now, which is good. Come on. You guys can have a go at those crossbowmen there. Alright. Alright, they can't really do too much right now, unfortunately. That's alright. Get these chariots in. Okay. Get some charges going here. Pretty chunky chariots, actually. Khazrak's not doing too well at the moment against him, so we might pull Khazrak out of that. If we can. Pull him away from the direct engagement with him. Get them to attack in the rear there. How are we doing up on the walls? Looks like we're doing alright. Let's see if we can pull the chariots out of there. And they can go off to see how these guys are doing over here. Are they spearmen? Oh, they are spearmen, so this probably isn't the best of things to go attacking, but they're not in formation. Oh, no, they are in formation now. Oh. Yeah, that didn't work out too good. Oh. Did you say Chaos Girth? That's interesting. Oh, he copped a flogging there. Let's see if we can get him out of that. That's no good. Come on, out of there, Khazrak. Come on. Let's get him out of there. We'll try and get him actually completely out of that engagement. Oh, looks like we've gotten the army loss penalties on them. So that is excellent. There we go. Righto. Vestigors probably actually are one of the few decent melee troops. They were up against something much lower tier than them, being spearmen and crossbowmen, but still, that's almost 300 kills between two units. Those chariots did pretty well with a bit of micro. And we are going to raise our herdstone here. And while we're here, let's have a quick chat with our friend Icket Claw. See if we can get a trade agreement going. So you can actually make not really a decent amount of money, but you can make some money from trade, which is cool. Now, you've got a few different choices when it comes to your garrisons. I wouldn't worry too much about what kind of units you're actually being provided with on your garrison. My preferred one these days is this chance of a plague to break out. The more garrisons you have with that, the better. It just overall does a nice job. Now, because I like them, I'm getting more Ungor herds. Going to get a decent amount of replenishment over this end turn as well, which is good. And we're going to do our casualty replenishment rate because we want lots of replenishment. Very important in the early game, especially. Okay, so we've got our Magritta. That we've got. So far at it, we've got 6 of the marks of ruination from our devastation here. So we're going to want more. More, I say. Which basically just means as many battles as possible. So even if your enemies retake the settlements and you have a battle there, that still adds to your marks of ruination. So preferably if we can get around the 25 mark, so that we can get to that next level. So that because we want to get up to that ruination level 2 for the extra army capacity. Now, so it almost looks like the building here is backfired with the plague, but it's chaos plague, which means for us it gives us plus 20 growth and plus 50 chaos corruption. So it's actually good for us to have the plague because it's a special plague. It gives us a big, shiny, smelly hug. I forgot to make Khazrak go faster. Now, it seems weird that I've made friends with somebody that is within my blood grounds, but it's actually not a bad idea. So it means I don't have to worry about that right flank at all. So the more I attack their enemies, the happier they'll get with me. So that flank is actually quite secure. And while it does mean there's only one other settlement in the blood grounds, they tend to be quite prolific in the amount of heroes they recruit. Well, not heroes, lords they recruit. So you can actually build up a decent amount of marks of ruination from it. But 200 dread, so not much we can do with that. 4,500 favour. We're doing some recruiting. There we go. So this is the preferred Khazrak start. Having it start on Bilbili is probably not overly preferred, but it's still quite doable. So what we really do need to work towards is getting ourselves a Brave Shaman, which is what we get now. So fingers crossed you get anything but a Beast Shaman, basically. We don't want a Beast Wizard, but it is random, and I got a Beast one. Previously I've gotten a good one instead, but not this time it would seem. Okay, we'll move him up there. Now our army has the plague, and what it gives us as the plague, we get a replenishment rate when in foreign territory. We are immune to plague attrition, and we get +7 leadership from it. So ain't bad. Ain't bad at all. Now, the fact that we did get a beast one isn't the best, but we still can get him Flock of Doom, so it's not great, but it will have to do for now, until we can get a better one. We'll get more ammunition in that for our Ungor Raiders. We'll plop him into a raiding stance. And we'll go through to the next turn. Now basically from here, it's not too difficult to kind of know what you want to do. It really comes down to you want to keep on killing, really. Fight as many battles as you can. Destroy Bilbali, of course. And hopefully they might even do something nice like you might get what's her name over here, Faye Enchantress, to come over and actually help you out with it a bit. So let's see what we can get here. Now, we don't actually have lightning strike yet, so that's not going to work, but we can keep trying to ambush him, though I think we could probably win against all of that, because it's all just spearmen. No, it says valiant defeat. But let's have another crack at trying to get an ambush in. There we go. That's a nice decisive victory for us. And that puts us, so we haven't actually destroyed anything to do with Bilbali yet, but that still has given us some marks of ruination. This is why I don't think it's in our best interest to entirely destroy Bilbali at the moment, because we want to build up those marks of ruination. So let's jump on him. Oh, that's not going to quite work either. Oh well. Not quite getting as much in the way of ambushes as I'd like here, but if we're lucky, we might get an ambush over the end turn. More Dark Apothecary for me though. And we'll give you Wizard's Wild Form. See what we can do. Beautiful, got an ambush. We'll just auto-resolve that. And take the money from it as well. Oh, he's going to try and sail away. That's a bit of a bummer. Look at it. Amber spear, eh? Okay. Interesting. Raid Castle Carcassonne. I don't think we need when one falls. There's cost of skill. There's endless herd. Actually, that one's pretty good. We'll take that one. Bit of extra stuffs for us. Now we'll take the income from post-battle loot, because that's what I like to do. He can now have a Flock of Doom.
I will not obey.
Now, so he does actually still have a Lord, so what we can do is we can destroy Bilbali. We have a decisive victory here. We'll lose Ungors, that's fine. I'm just going to do this just to kind of show what we can do. We will loot and raise. So this should mean that he'll be desperate to retake that. So we go hide over here. We'll replace our Ungors. We will... I'll grab Wild Heart. Board upgrade. Ooh, nice. Good for me. Go Plague. Plague is helping me there. I'll take that as well. Alright, so now we're up to 18 marks of ruination, which is good, but it's not enough. Not enough. We don't want to really wipe them out yet. We want to keep them going. Hopefully he'll come rocking on back to retake the city. We still don't actually want to kill him off straight away. We want those marks of ruination first. But he hasn't come back.
I'll ignore that.
Boy, he's on low health. So we'll actually pull back from here. So we'll let him come back and resettle. Which I know sounds really weird, and it honestly feels even weirder. Alright, and we're going to get our shaman building now. Come on. There we go. He's resettled now, that's good. The idea behind this is that we don't destroy the town again. We let him build another army and just kind of keep destroying those armies, because in the next turn I can just about guarantee he's going to recruit a new lord. Alright, Khazrak, what we want to do is get ourselves a wild. So that shaman, we rolled the dice on him. We failed. But now we can get ourselves a cunning wild. Why do I want cunning? I mean, why do I want wild? Because Traderkin. That's why. Because it's awesome. Now here, I'm just going to give all of our units more speed. And that is actually where I'm going to leave the start guide. I'm actually not even going to do a second part to this one. So really from here, in my opinion, what you should do is farm these guys just for a little bit more. Just for the battles, just to get your marks, your devastation up to that 25 so that you can get your second army. And then you want to start mowing through Bretonnia. The good thing about Bretonnia is, because they all have walls, it makes sieging very, very easy. And you can use your wild with Traderkin to go and basically magic most of them down. You should be recruiting a lord here every turn when you can. Once you have that second army, this is why you want it, so that you can recruit and destroy the building just there, because that will get you 2400 of your favour every turn, so that will give you money to spend. This is why you want to get to that level 2 ruination, so that you can have your second army that essentially gives you 2500 income a turn. So that is it for me from with Khazrak. So hopefully this is going to be a nice, helpful little guide for you. I'll be posting it on the other guide that is outdated with this as a link in the description. So again, hope it's been good. I've been Ash Ninja. I'll see you next time.